The real insights from science tech startups. Learn from experienced founders and experts how to build a successful startup. You are listening to the Working with Startups from Science podcast with your host, Bartosz Kaidas.
Hello and welcome to a live episode of Working with Startups from Science. Yeah, it's the end of the year, and I want to be part of the recap society that is doing all recaps and reflections of the year. And I think this is a good date to reflect the whole year, of course, because so many great things happened in 2024. And I thought like this could be the amazing opportunity to look back on my episodes on working with startups from science and all the different things that I did in this year. So hopefully you got your coffee. So I have my coffee with me here, this one. It's 10 o'clock here and in the morning, and it's Monday morning. So hopefully you can enjoy some holidays. And you don't need to work actually. So you are like having a little bit holidays and you start in the new year. So hopefully you can enjoy that. If you are watching this live stream like in the future or like in the past, it depends when you're looking at. So yeah, you can just comment, you can write down things. Then this will be an interactive session. So you will see questions that I will answer, that you can answer afterwards. I will check every day if you wrote something. So you can be sure that I will see the links and comments. So, how do you comment stuff here? I'm streaming on YouTube and on LinkedIn. So for LinkedIn, just use the comment box below. So as you would comment something, and then I will see that in my in my StreamYard broadcasting software. And type in what you are thinking when you have something in your mind, and you can of course also talk with me. You can come with me to my live session. I will post the link in a couple of seconds in this chat, and then you can grab this link and see if we can connect. Of course, if you are live, if you are watching this later and I'm not live anymore and you see the recording, so you see the link, but you can't use it because here I'm not in the room. All right. On YouTube, you find the live chat section on the right side of the stream, and there you can comment and post stuff. So just hit then the send button, and then all these things will reach me. And this is like the instruction that for you that you can how you can interact with me here, and I will share the link with you in my chat here, and then you can see it everywhere on both platforms. So feel free to join me and to talk with me in German or in English. That's totally up to you how you want to talk with me. So feel free. Any language that you want to speak with me is possible. All right, 2024, it's going to end, and I want to use this time to reflect a little bit my work with my podcast, Working with Startups from Science. So if you're watching this the first time, you may ask yourself, who am I and what I'm doing? So my name is Bartosz. I'm a science tech expert and podcaster and doing a little bit of stuff for science tech entrepreneurs. So my idea is simple. Basically, I want to help scientists become better entrepreneurs. How am I doing this? I wrote books about how to pitch stuff. I did lots of trainings for academia and scientists. And he was 10 years an innovation consultant at German universities and helped more than 200 startups become, create or found a company and create a startup and get some fundings, of course, federal fundings and stuff like that. So I'm doing also trainings, online trainings, and real life trainings, in-person trainings, and lots of stuff just to fulfill this vision that I have, that I think or I believe that scientists can become great entrepreneurs, but they need a little bit of guidance how to do it properly. And this guidance I'm giving them, and help them to become great entrepreneurs, to scale up their businesses, and grow like with their mindset, but also of course with their startups. I saw this for like, it's like 6 years ago, and this is also the reason why I started this podcast, working with startups from science. Basically, when I worked at the TU Darmstadt as a startup consultant, I heard so many great stories from scientists, like how they invented something, how they create something new, or how they discovered things and created a solution for these problems or discoveries. And I thought like, oh, these are great and amazing stories. So why don't you tell these stories not to everyone, right? And the scientists told me like, oh, Bartosz, there is no platform to talk about that. And this was like the starting point in 2019 when I published my first episode. And this is like, 5 years ago. And now today we are looking at 81 published episodes till that day. So it was an amazing journey. And what was great that, like, the motivation that people wrote me emails and told me like, I got some pieces of that interview and that helped me to go forward. And this was like very motivating for me to stick with this topic. And of course it's a very niche topic, but it was great motivation that people who thought about creating startups from research, from science, get that content and these interviews, and took something for them that motivated them to go forward and create an own startup. All right, so this is the short background story of me and my podcast, and now we want to look on the year 2024, what was going on. So I will start with my first question. So I prepared a little bit so we can go through it, and if you want, type in your answers in the chat. I will see that, and then we can interact together. And if you want, join me with my link that I posted here recently in the chat. So you can use this link on YouTube, and then you can come to my streaming software, and then we can talk live together and and share some time. All right, where are you joining us from today? This is the first question. So I'm sitting here in Mannheim, where I'm living, and it's a great region. You may know, not Mannheim exactly, but Mannheim is like very close to Heidelberg, and I guess Heidelberg is a city that has a lot of international tourists and guests, and is may known for you. So I'm living like in this region, Heidelberg, Mannheim, and this is where I'm joining, or I'm streaming, and I'm working, of course. I'm not just working like in Mannheim, like I work in the whole Germany, in the whole Europe, but this is where I have a strong network where I'm working. So this is like my home base region, the Rhine-Main-Neckar area. All right, then coming to the next question. What's your coffee of choice for this cozy session? That's also an interesting question. So maybe you don't drink coffee or you have a tea. I'm drinking coffee, and I'm doing this Americano style, like filter coffee. I don't have a machine or something like that. I like the pure, like filtered coffee, to drink that, and it's a little bit better for my stomach. So these new coffees are like very strong roasted beans of the coffee, and I like to drink the filtered one, so it's not that intense, or I like the taste of a filtered coffee more than from these machines that you can like just press a button and you get everything what you want. So the original taste of coffee, that's my favorite drink that I'm drinking. Coffee, and today filtered coffee and a lots of coffee. All right, then coming to the next question. And before we start, so what do we have here? This one is great. What's been your highlight of 2024, personally or professionally? So if you're thinking of something, then use this time to write down your thoughts. So my highlight of 2024 personally was my journey, because I quit last year my job at universities and become an own entrepreneur. So it's like I was a part-time sidepreneur for 5 years, and committed myself to a full entrepreneurship journey in last year in November 2023. So my first year is over, and it was a tough year, of course, and it was hard time, and there were some struggles, of course. I mean, this is not a thing that everyone can do because everyone would do it. So it's like a tough decision. It was a tough decision, but I'm really, um, I'm really, yeah, I'm really happy to decided to go on this entrepreneurial journey, and it makes me very happy about that. And I like this journey very much. These up and downs that is part of the game, I would say, are very important, and it's great that from every down you learn something, and this like creates some kind of development that you can feel that you become better or stronger in different topics, and you start to learn. And if the pain is really high, then you change something, and then you're doing it, and then you're seeing that these changes are successful, that you've made successful changes, that you understand something. And I think this is personally for me was the biggest thing to decide and become an entrepreneur, but get all that emotions as an entrepreneur during that journey, and handle that, and see that process and feel that process that you as a person develop. This is great, I would say, and this is why I love entrepreneurship so much, because it's like you can fully control your journey, and you need to start of controlling basically yourself, your mind, that you are working and you're improving yourself, because this is like, I would say, the best personal development course that you can do, becoming an entrepreneur. So this is quite my personal highlight of this year. And I think this is one of the most greatest things that I discovered this year. All right, and then next question: what's the biggest win you've had this year that you'd love to share with us? So yeah, think of that and type in and greet maybe someone if you want, and share with us your biggest win that you had, that you love to share with us. So my biggest win is, yeah, all these people and network that helped me through this year by giving me advices, by giving me contracts, by, yeah, giving me the support that I needed. And this was this was great, and this was my biggest win, to know that there are people who support me in some terms, in some kind of ways. And this was my, yeah, biggest win this year, that I saw so many people that believed in me or helped me. And this is so important, that you have this kind of network and, yeah, people around you. And yeah, this is, I would say, what I really appreciate and really, yeah, love to experience. And yeah, it's what's it was great. It was great for me, and I really appreciate, and I'm very thankful for all my network and the persons who are in my network who help me and support me, because it's not like it's like a tough one, but it's great to see that people believe in you. And this is what was my biggest win this year. And yeah, I can share with you. All right, then I would say we are going to the podcast and behind the scenes a little bit. So, behind the scenes and my podcast, I would say we are switching to my screen, in terms of I'm showing you the podcast and the episodes. So we are starting with my episode on on January was the first one. So this was this one, 71. And oh no, maybe we can start with the Jahresrückblick number 17. And this was on 21 December last year. So basically, this is last year, actually. And I know I started with streaming in, like, this was, I guess it was my second stream that I did. And I did this, yeah, and this was my second stream, and I was so nervous to do it, and I started in that time. Yeah, I would say my streaming abilities, yeah, my skills. I started with that, how to set up, and this was in December, my very first stream. So this is of course on Spotify, but what I did at that point is I I did an MVP, right? A minimum viable product. And I thought at that time, oh, I want to test how many people will watch a YouTube video, basically a podcast, right? So two people are talking and the video with that. And I saw that people also not just heard my podcast, they also looked at my podcast on YouTube. And I thought, like, oh, okay, I start streaming because, I mean, I'm meeting with these people anyhow. So why can't we just like stream that in parallel? And then I grabbed the audio files and put them into my podcast stream. And this was basically the setup. So what you can see, and we will switch in a couple of seconds to YouTube to show you that this is available. So I started in parallel streaming on YouTube and then grabbing the audio file and putting into my audio stream or my audio podcast. And this was my very first live stream, and I was so nervous. I guess you can see that. And yeah, feel free to look up or to look at these episodes. Yeah, it was so nervous, and it was technically very challenging because I have here two screens, and I need to press more buttons, and starting the music and doing this and that, and it was very, very tough for me. Like, you need to concentrate and moderate the podcast, right? So you need to ask questions and stuff like that, and then you have, in addition to that, this whole technical setup that you need to manage somehow. And this was very challenging, and I guess you see that in my face, that I struggled and was like, oh god, where I need to press the buttons, that everything runs. And this was very exciting during that time. It was a great experience, and yeah, I know this is like a general advice, but this is part what I mean with this journey. I thought like this is very challenging, and this pushed me out of my comfort zone. And then I did it, and you need to fight with your fear, right? That something crashes, or I don't know, something happens. But then when I managed it, then it was real fun, and now it is also fun, to record these sessions. And I love this live element. It was every time that I'm meeting with people and I talk with them, and of course it's an interview, and I love to record these interviews. But it's like every time there is this interaction missing, so people can join and hear and ask their questions. And I wanted to open this podcast to be more interactive, because I thought this is yeah a lack of communication. Because of course I'm communicating with my guests, but yeah, the community can join, and I want to give the community the possibility to join these sessions. And this is why I open it and created a live setting where people could actually ask something. So I'm mostly setting up live streams, because I think this could be valuable for the community to sit down and ask questions live. Or, and this is also a recommendation, ask afterwards. If people are looking at these recordings and videos, they can type in their questions. I will answer these questions, or I will send these questions to the persons in the interview, and then they will answer. So this is also not like ending with recording. I think this is a part of discussion that I'm giving to the community, that people can join and communicate about a specific topic, because these topics are very specific, of course, from in the science related science tech topics. So this is why I started basically the live streams, and it was quite challenging at the beginning, but was a lot of fun during that. And in this Jahresrückblick, I shared the vision that I will do in the future live podcasts, and yes, I did it. I did like most of them as live podcasts. So we don't go to every episode. I have two, three, or two stories behind that. So you see, like 71 was another one with a German title. And at that point, I was like, I wasn't sure if I should do this in German or English, and it was quite tough for me to decide. But I get so many people that asked me, "Hey, Bartosz, this is great content. Can you please do it in English? Because we don't, or we are international students, and we want to hear that in English." So then I implemented that, like more English episodes. But sometimes it was like, I mean, if I ask someone if they want to talk with me, I ask them like, "Hey, is it okay to do it in English or to do it in German?" And sometimes it was like, "Yeah, I'm not confident in English. Can we do it in German?" or my target audience is in German. I don't need to talk in English. So, I mean, there were different reasons that are totally legit. But like, and this is like why there's like mixed sessions in German and English. But in general, I want to create my podcast sessions in English, and it's like, yeah, it's, you have more people that could use that content, especially in Germany, like international PhDs or people who are researchers, are familiar with that language and can use this information more properly. And this is why I basically doing this in English, but of course here, yeah, are some episodes that I switched into German and started to mix that a little bit. So if you're familiar with German, you see my rule was like every episode that was recorded, I've marked that in the title with here DE for Germany or EN for English, and the title is also English if the podcast was recorded in English language. So we have here one with KfW. Then I had an interesting conversation with a multipreneur. So this was also great to see how people are different in their mind. This was also cool. An interview with a CEO of a software deep tech company that I supported when I started my professional career as a startup consultant, and this was one of my first, not my first, but like was the early startup topic that I helped at the beginning with building and all that stuff with funding. And it was great to see the development, right? You're coming together after some years and you talk about the development of the company. And yeah, there were great insights shared. And I love every time when I'm talking with entrepreneurs about the honesty and the advices that they give. And this is very, very valuable to all people who are looking at that and hearing that. And also for me, I love to talk with these people. And sometimes it's for me like, oh, we need to close this session because the time is running. And yeah, try to set up like a 30 till 60-minute episodes. But sometimes the talk or the interview is developing in such cool ways that it's hard for me to regulate the time because it's so interesting. So this was a session. Then we had Mike Mangold. So he's international connector and ecosystem supporter. Great guy. So he's doing also lots of stuff in the internet. Feel free to search for him in the internet because he's doing also great stuff. So, and then we have here Henriette Maas. She founded an own startup, and I'm talking with her about different things like the motivation to start a journey, entrepreneurial journey, and the risk to become an entrepreneur, and how do you explain that to your family. So this was also very cool. And you see here the pictures are changing because I created YouTube thumbnails for these live episodes. So you can see also from the pictures that yeah, I don't create a specific cover for that. I just used the thumbnail and exported that in this frame, and then you see that these covers, or if you see some of these covers, then you will have you will see that this is also online session. Exactly with this here with Andreas Raab, also very interesting. He joined as a scientist a family company that was created by his family. Very interesting, and how he as a scientist how he as a scientist implemented himself with his habits and scientific habits into industrial perspective. Very, very cool. And then I were at the Green Tech Innovation with Dr. Jörg von Hagen. And there I have to tell you a little challenge, or an unexpected challenge that I discovered here. So I know Dr. Jörg von Hagen very well, and I'm part of this media partner of this Ryan Accelerator and Green Tech Accelerator. And yeah, for me, I thought like, hey, Jörg, why don't we do a live podcast? And I'm coming, not a live podcast. I'm coming to you, and we will record the whole session in your facilities, in your office. And at that point, I had the equipment, and I did that. I did a test run and stuff like that. But this was like unexpected, because you're having your checklist and you're doing everything. Oh, this I need to bring with me, and that, and I bring my whole studio I took with me, and all cables and stuff like that, and then when we were sitting there, and I thought like, damn, if you are sitting in the same room and then two microphones are open, and you don't have like these the echo noise canceling stuff in your computer, so you will get an echo, right? And I thought like on everything, like bringing the microphones, the cables, all that stuff. And then it was like, oh damn, that's right, when I'm talking with people, I'm like in their ears, because they are using headphones and I'm using headphones too. So there is no sound that a microphone could basically record, right, during our session. But when I was sitting with Jörg in this room, so his microphone heard, of course, what I spoke, and this was like echoing that whole stuff. And this was, or like, you're sitting there and you're recording your podcast, and then you're thinking like, damn, I didn't thought about this thing. And this was really unexpected for me. I mean, you can think of so many things, right? But then you like just missing 1-2 points, and like sweat run through my face, right, to record this properly. Because as a musician, I want to have the best quality as possible. And this was like, for me, one of the challenges that I thought, this was very unexpected for me, but was also a new experience, of course, right? So how to record live podcasting, how to record live sessions with persons that are like in person in the room. And as I mentioned before, like you need to fight your fears and go out from your comfort zone. I also use that kind of knowledge and experience to improve myself. So we are coming to the next session, and this was Realität trifft KI, and this was no video recording, but I did then a live session in Heidelberg in the university lecture hall with the person, Dr. Marcel Gutsche, and we talked live on stage about artificial intelligence, because he runs a startup. So just a second, I need to share my screen, of course. So this one, so he runs a startup, and we talked on stage about that, and I brought also my all equipment stuff with me, and we recorded that. So basically, we spoke into a microphone, and this was recorded, and I used that recording to make a podcast out of it. And this was another unexpected challenge because this time I thought about everything, right? Oh yeah, there will be different microphones, and I need to have a switch where I can click and just like unmute myself, right? Because I didn't record that, or there was a recording, but I guess I didn't publish it, so because the camera wasn't properly set up, and I concentrated on the audio, and I did that. And you have this one microphone, and you have everything set up, and the thing was like, how do we get the voice to the recording microphone of the podcast into the PA, the sound box system of this lecture hall. And there was no technician during that time that could help, and this was like very challenging, because like in my mind I had a different concept or a different idea. How do we like use that live, or the microphones in the PA of the lecture hall? And then there was like someone came up with a microphone, like with a handheld microphone, a wireless, told me like, oh, this is the only solution, I don't know, we need to use that. And you have then two microphones. Basically you are speaking to the microphone that accelerates your voice, and then you need to talk also into the microphone of the podcast recording. And this was very challenging. And then what happened? I did everything, and what I'm doing, I'm setting every time a backup. Every time when I'm doing a recording, I'm doing a backup recording. So mostly with my phone, I'm hitting the memory function or the recorder function, and then I'm recording these sessions to have a backup, right? Something with the internet connection happens, or I don't know, something is challenging, then I'm recording this as a backup file. And what happened? I trained everything or practiced everything in front of this live session. So I was sitting at home and like putting all cables together and tested all things, and it all went well. And then when I went there, set up everything, 1 hour to go, set up everything, then I had the struggle. Besides of this, how we use the audio file from my computer to the PA, I had the challenge that that I could not separately use two microphones with one computer. So basically you have the challenge, if you are recording two microphones via two USB, the computer will tell you, hey, just a second, tell me which microphone I should use for you. And you can't click like, hey, use this two, please, because I want to have two different lines that I want to record. So basically, this challenge cost me a little bit of nerves, because I was sitting there in this lecture hall, and I couldn't remember how to make this adjustment on the computer. So this is possible, but you need to look like a bunch of YouTube videos that are explaining to you how to set up this properly, that you can use two microphones via USB without an interface, of course. I didn't have at that time an interface, and it was challenging for me. So you can think of, I'm sitting on the stage like 15 minutes to go, sweating, right, and looking YouTube videos how to do it, like, and people are coming, hey, is everything right, and blah blah blah, and I was like, oh, yeah, of course. I try to fix a little bit, some issues here, but this was very challenging. And at the end, I don't know, like I don't know, like the options that I wanted to have didn't work, and at the end, I needed to use the recording from my phone, the backup thing of my phone, and yeah, then when I heard or started when I went home after the recording and I heard the recording, it was very noisy and echoing and all that stuff. I mean, of course, this was just like the phone was placed between us during the talk, and thank God at that point, AI was so advanced that I could like filter out the voices and highlight that and reduce the noise stuff around. And yeah, it's not my best quality that you can hear, but you will hear that this is not normal quality in this podcast, because yeah, this is my outtake secret that I'm sharing with you. In this episode, I was live sitting on stage with this person in a very big lecture hall, and all that stuff wasn't working when I thought it should work. So this was one of my stories that I had here with yeah with live recordings in person. But there are new solutions, so there are new advices, interfaces that will in future not be any challenge. But this is what I want to tell, or what I want also to show you at that point. You're doing these experiences, you're failing, but you're learning from that. And like I identified my problems that I have, and I searched for solutions, and there are like a bunch of solutions for exactly this problem. And you can buy the solution, and then it is solved, and then you get experience. And every session what you're doing helps you to become better at that stuff. So this was quite interesting. All right, then I did an interview about the ecosystem in Darmstadt and in Germany, and we had here the 80 podcast session was about Persönlichkeitsentwicklung. This was a very interesting podcast, of course, because we dived into the topic, is the personal development linked with entrepreneurial success, in German? But this was very cool. And yeah, I like that. Because there are so many insights. And the guy that I did with that, Lorenz Hartung, is a professional coach for this topic, and this was very amazing how his approach was to coach people. And yeah, I thought this is very, very cool. This was very, very cool and very insightful. And this was like, in this episode, I had the feeling I could talk with them about more topics because it was so interesting, but I need to reduce that. But yeah, this was very, very a really good recommendation. All right, and then I published another episode, startup financing, in Heidelberg, or especially for science tech startups. And this episode is also important to mention, because, and I will skip to the YouTube tab, because I did here with that episode, I published it as an video. So what you can see there is basically a recording, a live recording. So I meet with him live in person in Heidelberg, and I'm set up a camera, and then we talked about that. And this was another try from me, like I have the vision, like with this like these YouTube podcast videos interviewing, to create some professional atmosphere. And I took my light with me, and you see there's basically, this is a podcast but with live elements. So I'm just looking at, so this is the podcast. This is not what you want to see. So I guess I need to go here to the videos. Where is this video? Or I can't see it now. Or is this? No, this is also. So somewhere this video is published. Oh no, I know what I did. Now I've published it as a live, so you can see it here. So yeah, I remember it now. So this is live, and you see here that I recorded him, and
da stellt sich dann
just like showing you this preset. So I interviewed him, and I recorded that. And for me, it was also a new experience, because I at that time also developed myself with the tools of video editing. And I want to use that skills to create new videos. So this was we did an interview, and what I did here is I published it as a live stream, so people could live interact with that kind of session. So if you would have a question, you could like ask at that point, and it was live published. And I was during that time also live sitting here. So if there would be a question, and this was what I did with Markus Robel, and it was really a nice talk and was great fun, and also a new experience, like how you record stuff. And this adds once again a complexity, that you have one layer is of course the audio, like how you record stuff properly into your computer, and then the second layer is, oh yeah, how do you make the recording basically. So you need to set up different cameras, you need to grab the audio, you need to somehow manage that everything is synchronized. And this is not that easy as it seems, to create very good podcasts and interviews. So I really appreciate all people who are doing that. And you see, or if you're doing this by your own, you get an own feeling how advanced or how challenging everything is to manage that properly. So sometimes, I mean, we are watching a YouTube video in best quality, in 4K, I don't know, in HD, and very good settings, and all looks great, and you have transitions in the video, and we are used to that. But if you're doing this by your own, you get the feeling, oh, whoa, this is lots of time that you need to spend to do it. And of course, it makes fun to do it, to produce this kind of interviews. And I see it like archived, right? Like I try to conserve that interviews and that sessions, because I think this is so important for these people to have that knowledge, or to publicly share this knowledge. But this was for me like a new learning experience, that then you learn, hey, okay, I need maybe not just the audio mixer, I maybe need also a video mixer to switch between the camera angles, and or later you need to put that everything together. So this was also my first try to do it, to record an interview and play a little bit and make it more like make it more visual. And this is also what when we are coming to the future, this is also what I want to improve, like the skills, how to create very cool or nice looking podcast video with these people, because I like this session and I like the setting that you meet with people. This is more interactive and you don't have the latency that or this ping stuff, that people need to wait or you can't interrupt. And this feels still after Corona, it feels still a little bit not natural. It's like better to be with someone in the room, and it's a little bit more interactive, I would say, in terms of the interaction between people and the communication. All right, so this is where we are here on my YouTube channel. So if you go on this live tab, you will see this, like I told you, this is my really first podcast and all that stuff that you can see here. Yeah, and you can see also my podcasts are shared here. My podcasts are shared in this YouTube space, so you can just have a look and watch the videos that you see here, and you can feel free to look to these stuff and create or pick some interesting things that you may want to see. All right, then we are coming to an end, and hopefully you stick with me to this point after the recording. And what are like my plans for new year. It's a common question at the end of the year, like, hey, what do you want to do next year, and do you have wishes or something like that? And basically I want to stick on this learning path and try and test new things, and also work with people and relate it to the science tech world. So basically my wish is to show more of these people who are working in science and who are creating and discovering new ideas, inventions, and help to maybe cover great challenges that we have in our society, in our world, and they create solutions that could help to solve these challenges. And I think that scientists deserve more attention, especially these who want to apply their knowledge into a product or a startup on this journey. And this is what I want to highlight, or maybe show more and appreciate this kind of challenging atmosphere, of course, because I mean, these people started with another dream, with another vision. They wanted to become scientists, and they wanted to become maybe professors, and wanted to do research. But at some points they discovered that maybe the research path isn't that interesting anymore, and took the risk, or taking the risk to become an entrepreneur, so something completely different. And this is a great challenge that I like to show and I like to highlight, because this is what I really appreciate, that people are taking risks and try something. And I think this should be appreciated by us, because we maybe as a society profit from these decisions that people make, and that people are taking the risks and showing the solution that they build, and try to implement these solutions in our in the industry or in our society. So this is like my wish that I have in the next year. And there are lots of different actions and schools, e-learning platforms that I will build up, that I'm working on. So if you want to connect with me, do it with or via LinkedIn. So just type my name and use that LinkedIn connection. Try to or yeah, just Google me on Spotify, Apple. There are different possibilities to hear that on YouTube, and you can connect with me. Basically, my own channel or my only channel is LinkedIn that I'm using. And yeah, feel free to connect with me, to write me emails. And every email is linked in every episode description, so you can see that. So you can get in touch with me, and maybe you have own ideas that you think, oh, this could be interesting. There we can create some synergies, or maybe we can work together. So I'm happy also about that kind of possibilities. If you have own ideas how to improve, like the outreach of scientists that created something new, that want to change the world. So if you have ideas, feel free to connect with me, to drop me a mail, and then maybe we can create something great together and help scientists become get more impressions and help to change the world together. All right. I wish you all the best for the new year. Thank you that you watched till the end this live stream. I hope your start will be great in the new year. Don't forget to subscribe and to be up to date when I'm publishing new episodes, because there will be coming new episodes and I'm working on that. And wish you all the best and see you next year. Bye.